Okay, let's unbox some new cards. We got across the oh, sorry. Ettenmoors. Ettenmoor. Uh this guy looks crazy. So we're probably gonna be fighting him here soon. Next week. But he's that's something. I am really hoping to what am I hoping for? Now Josh was telling me, Get Up in Game was telling me that some of the cards that we got in our last pack that are some of the Noldor cards, which is discarding from hand. We're going to get some more cards to round out the Noldor archetype, and I'm excited to do that because discarding cards from hand seems like a really interesting strategy, just considering how good cards are in your hand. But it also means that you can run cards that you can run 3 copies of Steward of Gondor, knowing that you increase the likelihood of finding it, and then you can get a benefit for discarding it. At least that's what I understand. Again, I try and avoid spoilers as much as possible for this game, and so I know a couple of the cards that are coming, but I really don't know a ton of the stuff that's coming, and so it's always a good time to see new stuff. Okay, look at the player cards. What sphere? I think we're due for a tactics hero. I think it's time for a tactics hero. Aha! Hey, it's Dory. Nice. So Dory dwarf, 10 threat, 1 willpower, 2/5 sentinel. After another hero is declared as a defender, exhaust Dory to add his defense to defending hero's defense for the attack. That's interesting, and I think it's kind of situationally useful. It's unfortunate that you have to exhaust 2 heroes in order to get that. Maybe there are some more cards that help with that a little bit. Ooh, Ranger Provision. So we attach to a location, limit 1 per location. After the attached location is explored, the first player adds 1 resource to each of his heroes' resources pools. That's cool. So this is going to be +2 resources because it costs 1, right? So, yeah. I like that. It's also really interesting in a multiplayer game where if you have someone who's not as economical as you are when you're running like leadership typically has a lot of resources. But if you are running someone who needs more resources, you can just wait to clear it until they are the first player. That seems pretty cool. Next up, we got another signal card. This is a Dunedain message. Search your deck for a side quest and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I think we'll lean into some of the side stuff next game, and that'll be a fun one to have. Also, with the ally to search for him, we can grab these signal cards with those allies now. Oh, Longbeard Sentry looks so cool. That's really cool. Also, I just realized Dory. Sorry, I paused. Dory after another hero. I think this works a lot better in multiplayer because if you're sitting here and you don't have anyone engaged with you, you can exhaust Dory and add Dory's defense into your teammates' stuff. So that's critical. That massage really helps the Ranger stay relaxed. Yeah, right. But yeah, I think Dory works pretty well for a multiplayer hero. But Longbeard Sentry looks so cool. Oh, 3/0/1/2/3. Discard 2 cards from the top of your deck to give Longbeard Sentry Sentinel and +1 defense until the end of the phase. That's cool. Also, because we have a lot of cards that are starting to work with the discard synergy with like Hidden Cache, where if you discard, you add 2 resources to a resource pool. You combine this with like Stargazer, so you're setting those cards. That's cool. I like that. I think that's fun. We're starting to round out some more dwarf stuff. Dwarf was just kind of like the ally swarm, but we're starting to get more discard cards from the top of your deck, which is a fun way to play into the archetype. We've got a Delay the Enemy. This is a 8 progress side quest, which seems pretty high. Battle. Oh, okay. So we use our fight instead of our willpower when questing here. That makes sense. Especially for the tactics sphere. Response: when the stage is defeated, each player may choose and discard a non-unique enemy engaged with them. I guess it's nice that you can discard it before it. My only problem with this is that it's situational where you would have an enemy that you would need to discard, where you couldn't just turn your fight into just killing that enemy. Now this means that you don't have to defend another attack before you take him out, but that's interesting. Oh, Steed of Mr. I. Pretty horse. Attached to a Noldor or a Spirit hero. After attached hero commits to a quest, discard a card from your hand to place 2 progress tokens on the active location. Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. We're just going to start seeing more synergies with that discard stuff. I like it. Choose... Ooh. Fair and Perilous. That's a cool looking art. That's really cool looking art. Choose a Noldor or Sylvan character. Until the end of the phase, add that character's willpower to its attack. That's fun. Got Eowyn swinging for 5 now, so that'd be pretty sick. That's... The art in this pack has been awesome. Oh, more Ints. I freaking love Ints. This is a powerful card. Okay, so 3 cost, 3 willpower, 2/2/3. Cannot have restricted attachments. Enters play exhausted. After he readies, heal 1 damage from an Int character. Whoa. Whoa, that's cool. That's really cool because the art for this game is so good. It really is Canadian. Look at that. I mean, like, look at the shadows. Like, the shadows and the lighting of, like, it's such a good... It's so good. It's so good. The art is incredible. This is really cool because you can combine it with the Booming Int and the cards that we got last turn or last game. I forgot what the Int was called, but we got a new Int that you can defend, deal a damage to it, and it gets like plus defense. Then that triggers Booming Int to have more attack because Booming Int gets +1 attack for every damage Int you have. And then this guy will ready because you're probably questing with him with his 3 willpower, and then you can heal and just do it to infinity. I love it. I love the Ints. The Ints seem so freaking cool. I want to play the Ints. Oh, that's so cool. None return. Limit 3 copies to none return in the victory display. After non-unique enemy is destroyed, add none return to the victory display and add that enemy to the victory display. So this is going off of the card, the hero that we got last time, where she gets plus additional benefits if we have stuff in the victory display, and then also that the 5 cost basic card will clear with this. Have you tried an Int deck? I'm assuming no, given the response. So the only Int cards that I have is Wandering Int, Booming Int, Treebeard. There may be and there may be one more in there. Like, I have splashed Ints before, but I have not built a deck fully around the Int archetype. But I have used Ints before. Hey, Not Butter. What are the differences between this game and Champions? There's a lot of differences between Lord of the Rings and Champions. What I would say the biggest difference is that Champions is all about picking up the game and being able to play pretty quickly, whereas this game is going to be a lot more involved in the deck building and the planning of playing. And so, like, where in Champions you're adding 25 to 35 cards to a deck, this game you are building a deck of 50 cards, and there's no, like, hero kit. And so it's a lot more involved in the deck building. There's a lot more, like, to me, a lot more like unique archetypes that like the dwarves play very differently than Noldor, and that is across spheres. So instead of aspects, it's sphere in Lord of the Rings, but like dwarfs are multi-sphere, and so you can have, you know, a tactics, which is red, a lore, which is green, and a blue, which is spirit dwarf, and you can build a dwarf deck. It is also significantly harder than Marvel Champions, and so if you're looking for something that really challenges, and you're going to lose this game, I lose this game a lot. I lost the quest today 2 times, and I think it's one of the easiest quests in the game. So it's a lot more satisfying than Champions, I think, as well. but it's a good time. I like this game more than Champions. Yeah, the int archetype didn't really get filled out till the very end of the game's life cycle. Oh, now I'm really excited to see what you mean by that. Ooh. Alrighty, next up, or last up, we got Hope. Sounds like a lot of fun. I just can't play games in normal mode. Expert or die. This is expert. One of the things that I think they did, there's not really a I just can't play games. Yeah. They have standard mode and then they have easy mode in this game. And I think they updated the nomenclature when they went to Marvel Champions, where instead of calling it standard and easy, they called it or normal and easy. They called it standard and expert. But the standard to this game is probably the easy mode is harder than expert, and like the quests are so varied. So you're not going up against like a specific villain, you're going up against a quest, and it's much more of a story driven game, not to the extent that Arkham Horror is, but like the stories align and like work together and have a through line, but like I feel like I'm going on a quest in this game. But yeah, if you like a challenge, this I would definitely pick this up. It's a fun one. But Hope Rekindled. Awesome. Yeah, it's a good one. Reduce the cost of the next event that has a Valor trigger. You play this phase by 2. Valor meaning that your quest is above 40. Valor action, search the top 10 cards of your deck for an event that has a Valor trigger and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. I want to try Valor. It just goes against every fiber of my being when I'm playing this game. I want my threat to be low, so it'd be interesting. But yeah, if you like difficult, you'll probably like Lord of the Rings more. The deck building and scenarios are I like the word you use there, Canadian, as a puzzle. It's very puzzly, and it's very much, I'm looking at this quest, and the cards that I need to beat this quest are vastly different than what I needed to beat the previous quest and what I will need to beat the next quest. And it's all about trying to figure out what you need to bring in order to get around, or not get around, but get through the quests that and the challenges that are being presented to you. Whereas like in Marvel Champions, you can pretty much take a deck and play any villain. This game is not like that. This game, you're going to need to tweak. You're going to need to make it work for the villain, or for the quest that you're going up against. Champions is great for quick play, and it does offer you tools to modify the difficulty when it feels too easy. You might lose a scenario a couple of times and you realize you need to, oh yeah, that's huge part of the game, is losing. Losing and understanding how to adapt and overcome what and why you lost. Maybe you need more allies. Maybe you need to switch out a sphere. You really need that spirit sphere, which is going to help mitigate the encounter deck and quest harder. I don't play for entertainment. I do it because I hate myself. You're gonna love this game. You're gonna love this game so much. Do it because you hate yourself. Sometimes even changing an entire hero. Yeah. So not butter. I have a video on YouTube that is like the Lord of the Rings buying guide, and so I would start there. But the too long didn't watch synopsis of that video is they're doing repackaged content. This game ran for about 10 years, and they are now taking that old content and they're repackaging it into a more economical and ecological friendly packaging. And so I would say pick up the core box, and if you like that, there's a lot of options after that. The core box, I think, is the weakest out of the 3 LCGs of Marvel Champions, Arkham Horror, and Lord of the Rings. I think that the core box for Lord of the Rings is the weakest, maybe Arkham, but I always have a hard time saying, like, I wouldn't judge the game based off the core box, because that is a lot of a financial like burden to try a game. But I think the starter decks are an incredible product. They put out 4 starter decks. They have elves, dwarfs, Rohan, and Gondor. And those are player cards that are what people have speculated are going to be less likely to be included in some of the repackaged content, because we're not quite sure if they're going to repackage everything. And so those starter decks, I've heard nothing but incredible things about those starter decks to give you an archetype, to give you player cards, to get you the tools that you need. So luckily for you, the repackage starts with some of the harder content. Yeah. So I would, if you had unlimited money, if you had unlimited money, I would buy the core sets, and the starter decks to start out. Core set, starter decks to start out. Then I would either go to Agmar Awakens, which is the cycle that I'm currently playing. Cycles in this game are, I think, 8 quests and like X amount of playing cards. I don't quite remember. Or if you wanted to, if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, they do have expansions. They have Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers out right now. And so you can go and play through the events of the books. And so we're all assuming they're going to repackage Return of the King at some point, but I think Two Towers is out actually. Now that I say that, double check that. But Fellowship is out, so those are like 6 quests that you can play through, each 3 quests per book, whereas each like novel is broken up into 2 books, right? So Fellowship of the Ring is actually 2 different books from Tolkien, so it's 6 quests total. I hear my wallet is shaking and crying right now. LCGs are always an investment. That is true. The core box is a tutorial, basically. Yeah. It's a fantastic game. I cannot recommend this game highly enough. When I started, Marvel Champions was my favorite, but as I got more into Lord of the Rings became my favorite of the LCGs, just because of, one, the theme. I am a sucker for the Lord of the Rings theme, but also just the gameplay, and then how many cool and interesting and intricate interactions there are between player cards, between heroes, between the phases, because it's an older game, and like the structure feels older in the sense of like it's very like segmented. You can take actions here, you go into this phase, you do this, you do that, you do this, which is a learning curve. It's tough to hit that learning curve, but that means that they have so many more opportunities to put in interactions here. So now you can have actions that you can only trigger in certain phases, and you can do responses that happen only after like the refresh phase, which is usually when you're just readying everybody. It's so good. The main issue with the core is that the difficulty scaling is a bad introduction. Yeah. One of the third scenario in the core, you are escaping Dol Guldur, which is right here in the middle of the Mirkwood Forest. So escape from Dol Guldur is one of the hardest scenarios in the game. I, to this day, still do not have a clean win off of Escape from Dol Guldur. I may actually. I went back. I may actually have a good one. Yeah. If you like difficult, it probably won't bother you though. Yeah. But yeah, the third quest you know what? That would be a fun like one-off stream, is to just go play Escape from Dol Guldur again and see if I could beat it with the cards I have now. Of the 3 games, it punishes you the most if your deck builds are bad. Yes, 100%. And I think it has the biggest learning curve to deck building. This game is pretty hard to deck build for. Back to Dol Guldur. yeah. That'd be fun. I haven't played that scenario in a long time. I remember Jason and I thought that we beat it, but then like we forgot to bring the Nazgul in, and we're like, oh, yeah, that makes this a lot harder. It's a great game, not butter. If you have any questions about it, feel free. I don't know if you're on the Discord. The Nightbot just put the link in there, but we have a lot of people, and myself including, that are more than happy to help with buying decisions, or just like getting into the game, helping with that. So highly recommend this game. It's incredible, but you should be able to handle it a bit better with the card pool now. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Maybe we set it up, because I think this is also not considered one of the harder quests, and so we could, I don't know, I'll set up a time where I go back to Dol Guldur and and take it out. Yeah, so I feel like you could set it up with like Gandalf, Elrond, and Aragorn, and just be able to play any of the aspects and be fine. Cool. Awesome. Thank you all so very much for hanging out. It's been a blast. Happy Monday. I will see you all on Wednesday at 12. I will be over on Man vs. Meeple. We're streaming on YouTube, so it's not going to be on Twitch. It's going to be on YouTube. Man vs. Meeple's channel at noon. And then we'll be back here Thursday morning at 10 to play, or to start the Forgotten Age expansion for Arkham Horror. So that's next, and then we're going to be playing Angel and Psylocke on Friday and Saturday. I will see you all there. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.